Guys. Hey guys, let's see if we can make this work. Trying to bring in Jacqui. Woohoo! Hey girl, I should be adding you. Hold on. Yay! Gotcha. How are you?
I'm doing great, Lexley. How are you?
I'm great. Hold on, we're going to give just a second for people to join in, and I want to share this over to our page.
Perfect.
We have some people saying hey already, some of your peeps.
Hi, y'all.
Yes. Okay. So you had an incredible week.
We did. Our team had an incredible success in the Western District of Oklahoma this week, where we heard the two magic words every criminal defense lawyer loves the most, which is not guilty.
Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you.
So tell everybody a little bit about yourself, because we probably have people in this group that you haven't met before.
Well, my name is Jacqui Ford. I'm a trial lawyer in Oklahoma City. I practice primarily major crimes, criminal defense, and any kind of catastrophic injuries. I have a team of lawyers that we work with, several of which have their own practices. Some of them are associated with our firm, but we try cases. That's what we do all over the country.
That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about your recent win. It was a very big deal. And I know that I've been working with you for quite some time, and we've been working a lot on mindset and how we use that as trial lawyers. What does that mean to you, Jacqui? Because that can mean different things to different people.
Well, I was thinking about this when I was getting ready for this today, and mindset to me is really taking the power back in the courtroom and in my life, right? So I've always been blessed with a level of talent that has allowed me to be successful as a lawyer. Prior to working with you, my success was much more based upon anger and frustration and just, I was constantly reacting to other things that were going on. I was reacting to the prosecutor. I was reacting to the judge. I was reacting to my fears, my own personal fears of judgment and criticism and my ego. So I was always reactionary. Mm-hmm. One of the greatest changes for me is that I'm less reactionary now, and I'm more in control of the energy that I bring to the room, and being mindful of the energy that I bring in and the baggage, the stress and the worries and the personal things that are going on in my life, and the relationships of these people that we deal with every day. There's long history with my prosecutors. We've been doing this against each other for 12 years. So there's a lot of things that come into the courtroom that we're not always mindful of. Now that I'm more mindful of it, I feel like I'm in more control over the tone and the energy and what's happening around me.
Yeah. And what are some of the ways that you do that? What are some of the things that you do that you've learned that help you to be really present in the courtroom? And I know that it's very powerful because we've talked about being able to use it to be present with the witnesses, to be present with the jury, to really understand the energy of what's happening in the room. But what are some of the things that you do now that are a part of your daily practice that keep you in a place where you're actually controlling your state and what you're bringing into a place and able to pick up on what's happening all around you?
So one of the things there are several. So I'll start with, I do meditation every day, at least once a day, sometimes guided, sometimes with you, sometimes on an app on my phone, sometimes just personally in a quiet space. I have found that was the first thing I did to change my daily routines, is just take 15 minutes a day to just tune into myself and what's going on with me. As I realized the power in just being aware of what was going on with me, I learned that I could take that awareness and be proactive with it. So instead of just being aware that I'm grumpy today and that maybe this thing is going to trigger me, and so I can just be aware of it, now I can actively do things to shift that energy. And I do it sometimes in public and nobody even knows I'm doing it. So breathing exercises that I've worked on with you. One of my favorites is 7-7-7 breathing, and I just do that. I can do it quietly and nobody even knows it's happening. But what's happening is I'm shedding my anxiety. I'm aware of what has come in with me, and I take a deep breath and I let go of the things that I don't think are going to serve me or my client in the courtroom. You know, whatever frustrations I have back at the office, whatever personal life pressures that I'm feeling, the history that I have with this judge or the history that I have with this prosecutor, as if I'm aware of it and I can shift it so that it's no longer in my way, then I have a more powerful presence. And I don't bring all that extra stuff into the courtroom. I think that my judges appreciate it. And I think that folks that are on the other side who don't even know exactly what's different, they recognize that there's something different about Jacqui. She doesn't react the same way. The same old games that we used to do that would send her off the rails, I can't do to her anymore. So it strips them of their power of affecting me and my attitude, right? So if I can recognize it through meditation, be mindful of where it's coming from, I can shift it. And I do that with breathing exercises and other things that I've learned working with you. Then I get to have more control, right? So once I've learned to shift it, then I can start spending my energy tuning into everybody else in the room. As a trial lawyer, that is one of the things that I would watch the best trial lawyers ever and go, how does that person manage everything that's going on in the room? How do they know what this jury is feeling? How are they taking care of the judge and all of these witnesses and all these people? It's just so much. And I would watch them and I'd be envious of it. And what I've learned now is that those folks that I would watch and that I admired so much practice the same things that you and I practice every day with mindfulness. And they're tuning in. So the advanced level of, you know, learning to be aware of yourself is good. Learning to shift your own energy is good. But the true power where you can truly change the conversation and flip the script of everything that's going on in a room is being able to tune into other people.
Yeah, it's very powerful. And it really begins with, you know, meditation we talk about. And some lawyers, when I talk about meditation, run out of the room. But it really is just starting to have a presence with your own self so that you can have awareness of what's happening around you. When you talk about meditation, what does the practice look like for you?
Meditation for me happens oftentimes, most often now, privately. Either first thing in the morning, which is, I think, an incredible way to set the tone for the day, to shift my energy and to set an intention. I think the language that you've been using on this Facebook group is setting intentions for the day. Yeah. And so I decide, what energy do I want today to bring? And it's different every day, right? Not every day needs to be fun and exciting. If I'm walking into a federal jury trial like we were last week, dealing with 8 hours a day of talking about horrible allegations of abuse against children, fun and exciting isn't necessarily the energy I need to be bringing to the room. So I would say, what do I need today? What does my jury need from me today to make this a productive and meaningful experience, to move them a little bit closer to being motivated to vote for my client? And oftentimes I would find that to be clarity. We need to calm everything down in this courtroom. You know, there's a lot of people coming in here acting crazy, saying crazy things. Lawyers are fighting. The judge is all up in arms. So what can I do to bring clarity or calmness to this courtroom so that the jury can hear what we're saying? One of the things I've learned is jurors can't hear and they can't process information if they're functioning under fear. Or in a hostile environment of some regard, whether they're afraid of you or afraid of the prosecutor, whoever's bringing it. If we are afraid and we're caged and we cannot leave, we only have a few options, and none of those options tend to be beneficial for my clients ever. Right. Being frozen, fighting, or fleeing, all of those are negative reactions. And so if I can have my jurors in a good and safe environment, then they're more likely to process information with each other better. They're better likely to hear what's being said. Oftentimes, more importantly, Lexley, is what's not being said. And so we can convey that energy to them, and I will shift it to them. My closing arguments have one piece of paper with me anymore, and it literally will come with the 3 things I want to bring to the room. You know, we worked on that case in December. My only notes when I walked up to do closing was love, trust, and hope. And if I can emit love, trust, and hope to this jury and model for them forgiveness, model for them understanding, model for them being forward thinking, then they're more likely to do those things for my clients. And if we're not going to teach them how to do it, they're never going to learn. And if they come with a background that most of our jurors come with, which is respect and love for authority and respect and love for law enforcement, and they never ever, people just generally inherently can't believe that juries get it wrong or that prosecutors get it wrong. And I'm not asking people to think that government is bad. I just need them to recognize that sometimes they get it wrong, you know, and people aren't inclined to believe that. And so now I think about what they need to make that leap. I don't need them to hate the DA's office. I don't need them to want to burn down the courthouse, which is what I used to think I needed my juries to do. I need my jury to be as bad as I am. And that's not what we need from our jurors. And it's certainly not what we need from our judges or other people in the courthouse. I do mindset work to benefit everyday people all the time. We do it in our office. If my trial partner comes in and he hasn't meditated, everybody knows it. And the legal assistants come in and say, you guys need to go meditate, right? And if it's getting amped up and feeling out of control, that's what they do. And they kind of joke and they tease us about it, but they recognize when it's not happening. It's palpable. It's really powerful. I used to be resistant to meditation, and now it's just as routine part of my day as brushing my teeth. And I do it at night too. It's the best way to go to sleep. No screens, quiet your mind, set the energy for your restful time so that you wake up more rested in the morning.
Right. Setting that energy, the intention, it's so important. And we have been doing some of that work here in this group and our Sunday success mindset, but it's an intention of where you're creating in your day. What's the intention of your creating and the type of practice of law that you have? And like the bigger picture that we've been working on and that we're going to be working on soon in the challenge that we're doing together is looking at what are you creating in your life, like the whole picture, what is the intention? And that's the mindset. And what you start, it's creating that state of flow of what you want. And that's what mindset work is really about. And we're really powerful. We just don't realize that the fact that you don't choose doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. It just means that it's chosen for you. So this work is about choosing what you want and what you're creating. So,
I don't know if it's okay to say this or not, because we haven't really talked about it. One of the things about mindset that has changed in our practice too, that I think is different than what a lot of lawyers do, is we have began branding ourselves and marketing ourselves in such a way that the people I work with on a professional level understand that this is something that I do and is important to me. And whether they do it or don't, they respect the fact that it's important to me. And we use mindset practices in blog posts, in Facebook posts, in anything that I put out there that is going to be perceived from the public or my colleagues. I am much more thoughtful now than I used to be before I post things on Facebook. Is this the energy I want going out there for people to be able to perceive me this way? You know? And so in every little aspect of our life, mindset has changed. And I work with my marketing team now, and one of the first things she says is, what kind of energy do we want to promote this month? You know, it's not what kind of cases do you want to bring in? It's what kind of energy do we want to promote this month? And I love it. It works every time.
You start to bring in and you start to know what are the clients and the cases that you want to work on, right?
I mean, I've shifted my clientele. I've shifted the kind of cases we take. We wanted to start working from coast to coast, and literally within 6 months of doing this, we've got cases in 3 different states. It is magical. It feels magical. The best part about it is the magic is within us, and it's within us all the time.
Yeah, it does feel magical, but it's really a system, and that's what we're going to be doing together in the challenge that's going to start the week of May 10th. And I've put in.
I'm so excited about the challenge. Everybody in our office is doing it, and we've been talking about it. Even though we do this work with you already, we're so stoked.
It's going to be great. And so we're inviting everybody that's in this Facebook group. We're opening it up to them. And there should be a link that's above the video, and I'll make sure it's in the comments. And there's also a coupon for $300 off of what the normal price is. This is the only time that we're doing this because it's a special offer to this group that's been growing. We now have lawyers from 14 different countries in this group, which is just crazy. But it's because we're all looking for a different way to change the conversation about how we're practicing law and what kind of difference we're making in the world. So I'm really excited about that. So it's a 6-week challenge, guys. You get to come in and learn some of the basics of all the stuff that we've been working on in mindset. And it's about changing your practice, and it's about really creating what you want in your life. So we hope that you're going to join us. And if there are any questions, I can't read comments. Are there any questions or anything that you can see, Jacqui, for you on here?
I can't see them on my screen, but I'll certainly go in after the feed is over and answer any questions that anybody might have. You know, my Facebook is pretty open too, so feel free to ask me anything, and I'll tell you that, you know, working with you has changed my life, and doing this work, I would not want to do it any other way.
Well, it's changed mine too, girl. So thank you. And thanks for joining today and being our thought leader today and sharing some of the ways that you're creating big wins in the world. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, just put them down in the comment for both of us. Thank you for watching.
See you guys in the challenge. Thanks.
Yes. Okay.
Bye.